OG, we OG. Oh no, G. You're not bullish enough, yeah. Oh no, you're not bullish enough. You ain't got D or no. I get stoned by the bolo. Bitcoin set to overload, yeah. Experts on reload, yeah. You're not bullish enough, yeah. Oh no, you're not bullish enough. You ain't got D or no. I get stoned by the bolo. Bitcoin set to overload. Experts on reload. Mempool getting hot. Everybody wanna rock, ayy. Runes is coming, everybody on a knot, ayy. It's a nuisance, Ordinal Revolution, ayy. Ordinal Revolution. Yo, is my guy for real, bro?
Run stuff.
Got friends right now. Yo, BRC 420, bro.
Yeah.
Yo, that shit on fire, bro. Imagine if he in here. Yeah, lock it in the seal. Murder. I got balls of steel. Nookies on the field. Yeah, this shit for real. With no calls, I get so far. Got 100 phone calls that I go hard, and they gon' love me. Smoke weed, huddle back. I get shiesty. Where my Bitcoin looking lovely. All this Satoshi's nothing above me. Bitcoin's alive, what you gon' do? Mempool fees are high. Ordinal. Where does it stop? Nobody knows. It's a revolution, ayy. Bitcoin is the one, no substitution, ayy. With shit in your Gobi, it's Ordinal Revolution.
Welcome back to Ordinal Revolution. My name is Chizzy. On this channel, we cover the entire Bitcoin Ordinal ecosystem. What is up, guys? What's going on? Very quiet Monday over here in Ordinals and Runes and everything. Not really much going on, but we have to stay engaged. We have to stay, doing our due diligence, really digging in, because this is how you win. Being here now, being in the people who watch now, who are in the space and people are buying now, are usually the people that are winning. All right, so in the next couple months, so I think we have to stay very due diligent. We have to really like dig in right now and find out what projects and everything is what's going on. And we have a lot of news to cover, and it's going to be a really good show right now. So let's bring in my partner here, as always, Mr. Yago B. What's up, buddy?
Happy Monday. What's up? I'm excited. I'm going to try to bring the energy here, liven it up in our space.
Yeah, man. Yeah, not really much going on. How are you feeling about the space in general right now? And what are you kind of looking forward to?
I'm feeling good about it. I think that, being quiet and stuff is a good thing. I think there's teams that are cooking. There's going to be some people in the space that are kind of losing conviction, which that happens every time that we go through an ordinals or dead period, right? But I think this is going to be a short period. I think that Bitcoin definitely got some energy re-injected into it over the weekend, or heading into the weekend, I should say. And we're in the second half of May, which to me, as our good friend Chris says, there's never been a red May in an election year. So this is something I'm also expecting to happen this May. Is for us to end the month of May strong. I have that conviction for Bitcoin's price, and I think that will kind of propel into a kind of re-energizing our space.
Yeah, I think this summer is going to be really big for Bitcoin. I think BitFi summer is around the corner. I think we're going to end May in an all-time high phase. I think we'll be, up there somewhere. What that's going to do is going to bring the whole ecosystem up, going to bring a lot of people in, and I don't know. I'm just bullish I'm kind of like where you are, man. I'm just bullish on this entire ecosystem. And I kind of like this like kind of slow phase, right? It makes me not have to like rush in the research. During a bull market, you're kind of always like oh man, there's not enough time in the day. Are you waking up in like the middle of the night, like I forgot to look at that, and now it's pumping and I missed it. And this phase is just kind of like you have plenty of time to look at everything, double check, triple check, even look at their like the backgrounds of the founders or even who created it and stuff. I really enjoy this time. I really enjoy the slow. I really enjoy the building aspect, and looking forward to the craziness. But without the boring time last September, we would have never been able to reap the benefits of what happened in November. And I think it's kind of repeating itself now.
Yeah. No, I agree with you 100%. During times like this, you're kind of forced to like put more effort into finding like where the gems are, right? Because there
Yeah.
isn't as much that's being thrown in your face. But that is also a good thing because now there's less junk that's just like out there, right?
Yeah.
So with that being said, the research becomes more quality. You end up like really uncovering like quality projects, and that is definitely something I'm excited about. And I agree with your point. We went through this exact, almost very similar period to where we were, researching, taking some time, and then really, revealing some really strong projects, and it was slow. The anxiety wasn't there, and then once things got bullish, which was good for our bags, anxiety came with it.
Oh man, it was tough. It was tough to deal with for me. I mean, I was just like, I didn't know what to do. I was selling too early. I was like, I've never seen this much Bitcoin, and and in that one spot, like it got crazy. Buying Bitmaps for $3, $7.15, and then being worth over 250 at one point. It was just like, what do I do? You know what I mean? I remember buying 10 Bitmaps for $60, and then one Bitmap was going for 260. Right? I think it was like insane. So it was hard to really fathom that was possible, but now we know it's possible, so it's a little different this time too, because it's like you're kind of more expecting it rather than being like, oh yeah, maybe towards the end of the bull market. But no, anything can run at any point, right? At any
Yeah.
point, like which is pretty nuts.
Yep.
So
100%, man. But it is definitely a good feeling when your bags get inflated or really big,
sure.
right? Even though there's anxiety with that. And that's why a lot of us are here, is to do well, try to build that, generational wealth. Obviously, that takes time. But yeah, so I'm excited. We did hit a couple of goals, I feel like, with Bitcoin's price action.
Yeah,
Last day, we were talking about Bob Lucas, which is, highly regarded in the space for his charting and his Bitcoin price action, as well as like precious metals, traditional like TradFi stuff as well. But his statement was, hey, look, if Bitcoin gets above 65,500, again, in this short time frame, then May 1st is most likely this cycle's bottom. All right.
yeah,
And so we did cross over that price point. Here, I'm going to share my screen real quick. But we crossed over that price point in between Thursday and Friday of last week, and you can see here. So this is kind of where that conversation was being had. So that was Thursday, and then we said, okay, let's see what happens. Right? We set this mark here for 65.5, and it crossed over right here. Well, technically crossed over right here because that wick happened. It got pulled right back down. So late Thursday night, and then heading into the weekend, really came over it, and you had a confirmation there at that point. We're over that price point. If things happen the way Bob Lucas says, then May 1st will be our low, which was I think like 57,000, right under 57,000, like 56,600 or something, 56,700. And so now we even had further confirmation by wicking all the way up to 67,000, right? So
yeah,
now, obviously, he's not Nostradamus. He can't tell you exactly how the future is, but if his models hold up, then that was our cycle low. So for me, that's really bullish that we broke that resistance point. And then now, over the weekend, we kind of chopped back and forth, 66, 67,000. This is the hourly chart, guys, just so if you're curious. So it does show, the shorter time frame and a little bit of midterm, so you can kind of see the sentiment. But then it dropped back off here on Sunday, which sometimes happens on Sundays, but we're right back there, and we're at like 66,900. So it's been like really high 66,000 to 67,000, low 67,000 range, right? So that to me, that's bullish. It's playing into the thesis that we have been talking about of the second half of May, really kind of getting back. And for me, the next price point miles or goal would be to pass 70,000, and I think that will kind of lead into possibly getting us ready for that Bitcoin. What is it called? You called it Bitfi summer.
Bitfi summer. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, yeah. I did notice something on the chart, and I'm not a chartist at all, but I'm curious of your opinion on this. Is this an inverted head and shoulders? Look at this right here. Shoulder,
Yeah.
head, shoulder.
I see it. I see it. Inverted head and shoulders here. Yeah, I mean, it looks like it. They obviously the actual chartists will probably be upset if we call it a head and shoulders, and if it's not, I think they said that
It looks like the head is above the shoulders,
yeah,
and it's perfect. Like
yeah,
if this was flipped upside down, you could see it better, but it looks perfect. And if I'm right on this, we should see potentially at least a breakout, like somewhere between 73 70, which takes us back to all-time high. So that's normally what happens. And not only is it, I mean, the bull flag here is playing out perfect. I mean, look at it, it's coming back now. Like, if that's not a flag, I don't know what the hell is, right? So I mean, it's like the perfect flag.
So with the inverted head and shoulders, typically what you'll see, if this is in fact confirmed, what time frame is this? The daily?
This
chart?
is a daily, yeah.
Okay, so that's a good chart to look at. And I think that we would see probably a little bit more correction on a typical inverted head and shoulders. So like it would come back down a little bit further and then blast off, right?
And then you could say it's a cup and handle as well. I mean, it's like every chart that's pot looking like, I mean, right? Like,
well, you can
if we come back down
a lot of times you can kind of find patterns, right?
Yeah.
So
if you're looking for them long,
yeah,
sure.
right. So I think the biggest thing is like, what does it most resemble? And I think that does resemble a pretty good inverted head and shoulders there. But like I said, typically at that point you would see a little bit more down. So if it plays out like an inverted head and shoulders, then maybe it comes back down to, let me see here. Maybe it comes back down to like 65, 64, and then blast off.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's something that could possibly happen.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, the weekly chart though is looking pretty good, pretty bullish. You can see kind of like this bull flag here. This was a pretty strong candle to end the week on, right? Ending, I think the previous week we ended on 64. This time we ended right at 67. Right there at 60, well, 60, yeah, around 67. So that's kind of where I feel like that's a bullish indicator there, showing that we're gonna reach the thesis that we both have been talking about, ending in May in a strong finish, and then heading into June, which would lead into like a DeFi summer with Bitcoin themed, right? But I still think that Runes has to be that first ecosystem that really takes off. If Runes gets leapfrogged, and like, let's say that Layer 1 Foundation and Best in Slot and Domo and his team release like this product in June, and BRC20s get like that first run up, I don't know, that could be really bad for Runes. But I don't know, that's just my perception and opinion.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to tell. Real quick before we leave the Bitcoin sector, Bob Lucas made a tweet a few 20 minutes ago. He said, "From my interactions in person and online, it feels like that this cycles is just a bunch of 2017 and 2001 circa entrants who are tired and no longer believe in a vision, grinding in out short-term spec ideas in hopes this is the last cycle they actually make it and break free." What do you think Bob Lucas is saying here?
That people are exhausted.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, 2021, that was a very different like experience in 2017, wasn't it? In terms of having the kind of stimulus out there, and people not being able to go out as much in during 2020, and it kind of feeding into like this people putting their funds into speculative assets. So I feel like it was definitely, more manufactured of a pump, because it happened twice, right, in
Yeah.
2021. But both of them probably had similar experiences from previous cycle people, right? So like you had the 2013 people that, true believers in Bitcoin that, waited for that long, and then they got exhausted and said, okay, I want to make my life changing money in this cycle. Then you had people from 2017 that did that for 2021, and they probably got stuck in a little bit more because of the
Yeah.
manipulation. And then I think he's saying that like that group of people still is like he's seeing that, you know what I mean, that are like, okay, from 2021, I got wrecked at, at the end or whatever, this is my chance. I think every cycle will have that, though, up
Yeah.
until it becomes very like super mainstream, and it becomes like a really, like, you have to have a huge amount of skill to trade and all this stuff, what you do with crypto, because it's so volatile. But it can be more of like a honed in skill trade, like a skill, like trading like stocks, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? But that's what I take from it. What about you?
Yeah, so I remember when I first got in Bitcoin, August 8th, 2020. I was the first day. I was the day I bought Bitcoin the first time ever. And I remember that because I said it a million times. But Anthony Pompliano went on Rich Dad Poor Dad podcast, and I bought. But I remember, the next like 3 months, because you got to remember August, September, October, and November were really boring. November it got to 11,000, but I remember I got in around 8-9,000, and then it went to 11,000, and then back down to 8, and then so that was kind of where we're at now. It feels very, very to that point, and I remember hearing that when I first entered was just like this is a bunch of 20 back then it was 2017 people who lost money, and now there's 2017 people remind me of the 21 people, basically saying that like they're just here to try and get their money back. They're just trying to get, that's all it feels like. And it kind of feels like that again, which is kind of refreshing because it's like I know what happens later, so to me, by him saying that, really, like, it made me realize that we're where it feels like, September of 2020, that same type of feel. It was just like, will this ever just take off already, because at that point I was 3 months in, and I was like, this is, everyone's saying this Bitcoin stuff's cool. I mean, it's very boring, it was like, so, but then I experienced the bull market, so
Yeah,
yeah.
I think that's kind of what's happening right now. But it goes to kind of the joke that is in the space, right? If you had experience, you say, well, that's your tuition. You paid your
Yeah.
tuition, you got burnt. But if you think about it, the people that end up having a lot of success in, that cycle, right? Let's say the previous cycle, they waited for the next cycle and they waited it out. And you usually hear the stories about like, I grinded every single day to know what's
Yeah.
going on, what's happening. Some of those people make a certain amount of money to where they're not necessarily, so excited about the next cycle. And they're like, well, I got time. And you kind of see it with like some of these mainstream, Twitter influencers that we saw all the time posting last cycle, and they're not here right now, right? And it's because a lot of them probably made their money, and they're like, okay, I'll know when it's really like time,
Yeah.
so I think at that point we'll really know. We'll have like an indicator of like, okay, there's so many Twitter influencers now with crypto. They're all everywhere. And that's when we know like we're in the heart of the bull market, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we're nowhere near the, we're, the heart of the bull market for sure. I just think that the class of 2024, have they entered yet? Have you seen any new people like, that's really, I mean, I guess it's probably hard for us to say that because we're so like advanced. If you're in ordinals, you understand crypto. You're not just getting in. I guess when you first start buying as a noob, let's just say class 24, they're buying what? On Coinbase, right? They're buying, on exchanges, buying Bitcoin for the first time, maybe buying some Ethereum, some Polkadot, some Cardano, just the stuff that the mainstream people push. So I guess that's probably why I'm not seeing it personally. Do you think they're entering now, the class of 2024?
Not many, not
Okay.
many. There's it's weird because some of the class of 2024 have been in crypto probably for like a year and a half. I consider some of them, or even a little bit longer. Some of them
Yeah.
were the tail end of last, or got in like during the bear market, but tail end of last bull market. They're still kind of like that class, or they're like a one, hybrid of the end of last cycle.
Yeah.
But those people, I have a really smart friend that had been in crypto for a little over 2 years, 2.5 years, and he was still buying everything through centralized exchanges. And I had to break down, how there's different levels to this, right?
Yeah.
And now he's pretty much using like MetaMask, and he's in Ordinals now and stuff like that. So there is definitely like an education phase that you have to go through. You pay your tuition and all that stuff. The new people, they're not here yet, and I don't
Yeah.
think they're going to get here until Bitcoin is at like a crazy number, and there's offerings for them to feel like, okay, I could get into this token or this token early like it was Bitcoin. They need that opportunity, and it has to be easy. And you're right, like our space is majority a bunch of experienced people that came from other, EVM chains, other chains in general, and they already went through the phase of centralized exchange to decentralized
Yeah.
platforms, and messing with the blockchains directly, and they have all that experience, and they came here because they feel like Bitcoin is the top, the premium, and now there's an ecosystem with that. And so what needs to probably happen, well, we know this needs to happen, but our ecosystem needs to be easier for
Yeah.
newbies to be able to interact with. And I think that's when we'll see the 2024 people come in, because if it doesn't happen, they're most likely going to come to Solana first and mess with that kind of stuff.
Yeah, 100%. And yeah, I think there's 4 levels to be in crypto. I think if you're buying on exchange, you're a level 1 crypto guy. You just buy Bitcoin, you buy Ethereum, you have it on exchange, and then you just hold it there, right? And there's level 2 where you can use a hot wallet on your phone. You withdraw the crypto from the exchange to your phone wallet. It's a hot wallet. You keep it there because you're hearing that self custody. So that's level 2. Level 3 is somebody who can bridge. You can bridge from different chains. You can bridge from different chains. You can you definitely have an aspect of everything that's going on, right? You can use Magic Eden, you can use Unisat, you can different wallets. You know that if you put your seed phrase in a different wallet, that you just understand everything, right? And then there's level 4, which is like the devs, right? And I think most people in the space are level 3s. But I think the hardest jump is from that level 2 to that level 3. And I think if you're in ordinals, you're definitely a level 3.
Yeah, I agree with that. And then of course you have like the developer levels and all that
Yeah,
stuff, which is
that's
further
just
down.
that's 4 to me. That's something
Yeah,
that I'll never be. I'm happy at being level 3. But yeah.
yeah, definitely. Yep. Guys, we have little under 200 people in here. Please smash that like. Please subscribe if you're not subscribed. And on Twitter, please like and share the Twitter space. It helps us educate more people, and we appreciate that. But without further ado, I think it might be time for your roll call.
The roll call, my
Let's
favorite
get
part
it.
of the show. Let's see who's here. Because, guys, I want to know who's here. If you haven't put a comment in there, you got some time. So put your comments in there right now. I want to see who's here because when the bull market comes and stuff, I'm going to know. But, this guy was here from the beginning, man. So I want to know who's here right now, who's watching. Put your comments in the chat now. But first is first here. And we have my boy Yazir, 8:30 a.m. He was in here. Happy Monday. Thank you, sir. You win today. Congratulations. First is first, and Yazir is first. I Walk Alone says, yay, I got second. GM Yazir. And then Walk Alone, he says, smash that like button. Listen to this guy. He's smart man. And then Totoro says first, but I don't know what happened there. Maybe he wasn't seeing Yazir's comment. But and then we got D Love saying second. Not sure what happened there. Maybe it's not showing up. But if you think you were first, you're probably if you're not seeing the I don't know.
Well, maybe some of them are doing it on Twitter and some are doing it on YouTube.
It's all YouTube though, because you can see next to their name if it's a YouTube or Twitter. So
gotcha.
And then we got Drex in the building, crypto hot news, BitRens, our boy Rick G, man. We gotta get Rick G back on the show. That was an amazing episode. Danny Boy in the building. We got Chief Axel.
I want
John.
to congrats to Danny Boy and his Timberwolves. Now you got the Mavs, so let's go.
You gonna put a wager up with Danny? You guys gonna wager?
We'll see.
I bet you have Bitmap. All right, we got I'm not sure if I said BC. BC is here. Superfan is here. You gotta help me out with this one.
Pantalone.
Pantalone in the building. Let's see here. Ordinal tweet. He says Shizzy plus Yagobi equals 1 million. 10 million.
Oh my gosh, that's a lot of BTC. I hope so.
And then Superfan goes, my morning coffee. 100 was that 100,000? Well, 1 million.
No, yeah, a million BTC maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. My
4, 5, 6, yeah,
a
million.
And we have in the building we have Mr. No. I've been here all the time. It was funny. He clipped one of our videos and put it on his Twitter, and it was me going no. So that was pretty funny. Shout out to him. We got Tim Bake in the building. AOD Art, we appreciate you, my friend. Chain Watcher, man, always here. Akala, every single day. We appreciate you, Akala. Joko says he's back. He's back.
Let's go, Joko. We've been missing you, brother.
Yeah, dude, it's been a while. Pelpa is here. And then we have, I think I said Superfan. Ebuck is in the building. Shout out Ebuck. Patty Poo, Carlos CLS. Our boy Coach Katz is in the building. Shout out
Coach Katz. Love that. Coach Katz, man.
And then we have Sayin. Oh, man. Sogol. Right?
Yeah.
Sogel's in the building.
Yeah, Sogol.
And then we have LSR. Shout out LSR. Disclosure Crypto. He says, could you check out Gari Network on Solana? I'm just going to give you a big fat no. This is not our show. Then we have Thule in the building. Wendy Yam. Itsatoshi. Yazir again. Crypto Currencies. Sarah Pelster. Welcome to the show, Sarah. And Red. Yeah, I think that's it. She says Red Finger number 1. All right, let's go.
What a great roll call to start the week. This week
it's on Monday. You guys are here on a Monday with us. A Monday. 214 people in here, guys. Please smash that like button. We think it helps, but we have no idea.
It does. It does help. It does help. But also put your questions in the chat, guys. You guys know the rules. We're gonna get to all your questions in the Ordinal after hour. So it's probably our most fun part of the show. We get to interact with each and every one of you guys as long as you put the questions in there. So
yep. And the more questions, the longer we stay. If you guys want us here, we do have a meeting at 1, but we could go to 1 if there's enough questions. So pop the questions in there, guys.
Yep. All right. Well, let's get to some Bitmap news to kind of kick things off, because Bitmap has been in the timeline, a Twitter feed, or X feed, I should say, a lot lately, right? So Bitmap new parceling standard. So Satoshi Nakamoto put out a new parceling standard, and it's a parent-child parceling, which is the new standard. The old tap method is being sunsetted and are considered bastard parcels. So this was interesting because, we obviously had Nakamoto on the show. He went over, trying to kind of finish up the original standard vision that he had. And one of them was to be able to do parceling correctly. And his original idea was to do parent-child, which makes a ton of sense. The parent being the actual bitmap, the child being the parcel. But there was some problems with that because they needed 2 endpoints to be able to be added to the Ord client to be able to finalize this standard. And from what we know is that this is going to be implemented by Casey and Raf and their team. So the standard is being changed. You have people like bitmap.community, which really took the initiative to start parceling, and they actually had a collection that they released on Magic Eden using the tap system. But, their response was actually really mature, because they said, well, what happens to all the builders that use the tap method? Is Benny and Tap going to be indexing the new method? And Batoshi said, we can't control what he does, but this is the standard that we're setting. Obviously, builders can do whatever they want, But it seems like Bitmap.community said, okay, we will kind of follow what the white paper says. And so they are deeming all of their Genesis parcels as bastard parcels. And I think there's going to be like this kind of cursed feeling of these, which is kind of cool. They have like a collectability aspect
Yeah.
to them now. And thank God there wasn't a ton of builders that did do the tap way, right? Because I think that would be a bigger problem. I think there was a little good amount of builders that started to do it, but then it just never really caught on. So what's your feeling about this? Obviously, it's a change in the standard, but do you think this is good or bad?
Yeah, I like it. I do like the bastard parcel idea though. That's just like the OG. It's like you're OG if if you had that standard. Obviously, I don't think if an indexer should pick up any more. I think it's kind of like how Casey did with the cursed inscriptions where you can't have any more. I think it should do that with the bastards. But I love this idea. I love that some of them are really OG now. And yeah, I just think I don't know. I love the parent-child idea as well. I love because in order to do a parent-child inscription, you have to hold that parent in your wallet to do the child. So that just makes sense. That way, there's no what they're saying before is like you buy a bitmap, but then you look and see what's in it, but then when you get it, it's all emptied out, right? So that and right now it doesn't really matter because none of that's really happening. But in the future, I think we need ways to try and make sure that this stuff doesn't happen. And I don't know. I'm definitely bullish on this idea and everything that Batoshi explained to us the other day. So
Yeah, and I think this all goes into his plan of having indexing on chain as well with those
yeah,
endpoints. And so, he's wanting the indexing to not have to rely on a third party indexer, right? Obviously, he's going to have to set up the indexing and all that stuff, but
yeah,
um the one like really positive thing that I'm seeing about this is there isn't a ton of pushback. There isn't a ton of people saying what the heck and all this stuff. And I think that people are excited that, Blockamoto's kind of involved again, right?
yeah.
With that being said, it's we're gonna see if parceling even like catches, right? Because it never really has, in my opinion.
Well, I think it will now. It was just weird before. The tapping way was just, it was just different. Everyone's used to parent child now. Casey uses it all the time. He did this weird collection and he put that, the child to the number 0 inscription. And I think that people understand parent child, people understand how it works, and I think this will catch on. You're gonna need builders though. There's no reason to parent child your bitmap right now for let's just one dot bitmap or whatever or 1.365 dot bitmap. There's no reason right now, but there will be in the future. And I think that once there's a use case for this, it's really going to take off.
Yeah. And Bitmap price actually jumped up, heading into the
Yeah,
weekend. It got back over $100. Right now, I think it's sitting at like 86 bucks. Let me see here. It's at 0.0013.
yeah.
Yeah, so about $87. So do you think this has something to do with kind of the price jumping up? Obviously, we interviewed Batoshi Blakamoto. He's been more present in the space. What do you think is attributed to kind of this pump back up?
Two things. I think the first one is they just got too cheap. They were just pushed down way too heavy, way too hard, and people still have a lot of conviction in them, and still see them as a lot of values. And I think that people are kind of waiting for the bottom. So once that people started buying again, people got that FOMO, like, oh crap, I missed the bottom, and I'm gonna get in here. And I think that's what kind of popped it up because they got all the way down to I want to say about 40 to 50 bucks and then they popped all the way back up to 100. But I think that was just FOMO buying because they wanted to make sure that they get under $100, and that's when we hit the $100 mark, and we could potentially see us falling back down. I don't see us hitting that $50 mark again because I think people are going to be like, okay, last time it hit the $50 mark, it popped up, and then you see $60, and there was finally news. I mean, there hasn't been any reason to be bullish on bitmaps. I mean, what was the last time? It's been number go up was like the only reason to be bullish on bitmaps, and now there's actually building happening, and we've seen that with the Bitmap 420 guys, and we see that with Bitmap the community, and we see that with Batoshi. He's building something special over there as well, like a tooling for it and stuff. So we're definitely getting more tools and stuff. The block runner guys kind of moved away from it, went more into DMT, and then they kind of need someone to really take over, and like Batoshi kind of came out and said that'll be me. So I think that being a figurehead as well, now that he's back and we feel like he's not going nowhere. I mean, he was in a Bitmap space the other day, hosted by Dapper, man, and Dapper, he could talk, man. That was a really good space he threw over the weekend, and I think it got 15, 20 people in there, and then by the end of it, it was like 50 to 60. So definitely holding spaces. There's community members that are really pushing this thing. I don't mean pushing it price go up, but pushing the aspect of decentralized metaverse.
Yeah. Also, there's plans with the WMAP token,
Yeah,
right?
that's true too.
That's going to be released, and then you have Bitzard doing their IDO, and they have bitmaps integrated into their platform.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things, and I think with the Merlin side of stuff, like I think they're happy that the attention's kind of away from like them right now and that whole seal staking and stuff. Because now, like when they build something, let's say they release the WMAP token and it's kind of flies under the radar, but then all of a sudden the price of WMAP starts to go up, right? Because there's popularity with it, but it's based on like bitmaps being locked into liquidity with those liquidity pools and all that stuff. Then all of a sudden the bitmap price starts to go up and people are like, what's happening? And then they're like, well, the WMAP token's taken off over on Merlin. Plus, when the price goes up, people are like, how can I get in on that, right?
Yeah.
And then also with Bitzard and their bitmap game, and then the other things that you talked about, with those other builders too. So Bitmap, I think, is gonna, the people that took advantage of the cheap prices, I think are gonna be very happy in the next 6 months, three months.
I think possibly. So too. Yep.
All right, where do you want to go next? I'll let you pick.
Got Decentralized. So we got big news on Friday that Gate.io is picking up the Decentralized token, the number 2 rune. That was huge. And then today it's officially trading on Gate.io. And I think that's kind of like, I mean, Gate.io is, a lot of people call it the shitcoin mecca, right? They got any shitcoin that you possibly want to get into, Gate.io is your spot. So, but this is that first, like, now I can actually see it on TradingView and I can see it in stuff like that. So getting that first big push, I think is huge, because now you can actually see it on a lot of these scanning websites like Dex, what is this, dexscreener.io. Now you'll now see Decentralized and stuff, which is good because that'll pick up the Gate.io listing and that'll actually have some charting, and it'll let people who trade it be able to trade it on a centralized exchange and Gate.io. And then I can definitely see OKX doing this now as well. And then potentially, I mean, the dream scenario is Binance and then potentially Coinbase, right? Coinbase is probably months and months away. Binance is probably about 3 to 4 months away, but you could see OKX potentially this month or next month. And that could be huge, not just for Decentralized, but the entire Ordinal Runes ecosystem for sure.
Yeah, I agree with that. But the thing about you said Dex Screener, right? So Dex Screener doesn't pick up centralized exchange stuff though. So I think you're talking about like coin market cap. Coin market cap does. A Dex Screener is going to pick up anything that has to do with like, yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So but it will show up on Coin Market Cap and as well as CoinGecko. It will show the centralized exchanges it's listed on. So that's good for sure. So
yeah, I could have sworn it picked up some Gate.io stuff. I guess I'm wrong. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it doesn't. Not yet anyway. But yeah, so yeah, CoinMarketCap, CoinGecko, and a lot of the ones that pick up from centralized exchanges. Yep, you're right.
Yep. So it'll pick that stuff up and it will, show that, hey, look, they're listed on these exchanges. And like you said, it's a stepping stone, right? It's a stepping stone for the bigger ones that they want to get onto. So it's good news. So congrats to the decentralized holders and the Kongs community, because I think this is a good first step for sure.
100%.
All right. All right. This is quick. To go over. May 18th, which was 2 days
Yep.
ago, was the 14th anniversary of the infamous 10K Bitcoin pizza buy.
Yep.
Looking back at that, like, do you think this guy like is just like dreads that day? Do you think he like? What
No.
do you think he thinks?
So people don't understand is that Satoshi Nakamoto actually reached out to Lazo and said, "Hey, you're the first person who is GPU mining. Everyone else is just using laptops and stuff like that." And he was like, "You're winning like all the blocks. If we want this thing to be successful, you need to spread out the tokens a little bit. Like Lazo was winning block after block after block. So he probably had like over 100,000 Bitcoin at that time. He had a lot of
Wow.
Bitcoin." And because he was winning every block, and but Satoshi, while he was waiting for other people to go out and get GPU mining, he asked Lazo to kind of spread it out, and Lazo was like, "All right, well, what's the best way to spread them out? Would be, hey, I'm going to be given, I want to make the first Bitcoin purchase." He is memorized. I mean, we're what 15 years since that day, 14 years since that
Yep.
day now, and we're still talking about it. So he is a part of Bitcoin's history forever, and you can't buy that. You can't pay for that. You know what I mean? He will be in 30, 40 years when Bitcoin's over $1 million, he will still be like, like someone's memory. His name is everything. So that's huge. And he's OG Bitcoiner. I'm sure he's very well off. I'm sure he's very well off. But that everything I just said is in this book right here called Digital Gold. I talk all about that. The book's amazing, dude. I learned so much
Yeah.
from that book. But it's just one of those things where people don't understand that. Like Satoshi actually asked him to do that.
Oh wow, yeah. So I
Yeah.
didn't know that part, but Shizzy is a historian when it comes to Bitcoin's history and all that stuff. So if you guys have any questions about that, you can
Yeah.
ask him.
I
He's read
I
all
s- I
those
read
books.
I read all those books, man. I got
Yeah,
I got
he
I
didn't
got
read
them
in
all.
high school, but he definitely read it when it came to Bitcoin.
High school
Which is
didn't keep my attention, dude. But
yeah.
Digital Gold, man.
Hey,
And it's
same with
really
me.
everything is in this book. I highly recommend it. Digital Gold by Nathaniel Popper. I read it like 3 or 4 times. When I was working at my machinist job, I'd have the earpiece in and listen to it, and it explains all that stuff. It's really cool. It gets into all the the stuff with Ross Ulbricht. That entire story is in there as well. It's a
Wow.
lot of really good knowledge in there.
Gotcha. All right, well, that's pretty cool. I didn't honestly. I'm bad with names, and so I couldn't remember his name, but it's Lazo, so I'll
Yep.
remember that. I just
Lazo
remember.
Hundreds or something like that. Yeah. He's from
Gotcha,
Florida. I want to say like the Tampa
gotcha.
area.
Yeah, I wonder how he's doing today. I'm pretty sure pretty well. He's probably written
Oh
a
yeah.
book about it. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
or been offered to
Well,
write a
he
book
seems
about
to be
that.
a very to himself guy.
Okay,
He's probably living on like some
reclusive.
beach in El Salvador or something.
Gotcha. All right. Oh, so Binance News reports on Rune's market cap. So we already knew that like Binance was reporting on Runes and in the ecosystem, trying to
Yeah.
educate their community, right? But they reported on the overall market cap recently, and it was saying, hey, like it's getting close to 1 billion. So, and then they highlighted Dog Go to the Moon in that article. So people are speculating like even harder now that like Dog Go to the Moon is going to be or RSIC are going to be listed on Binance soon. Do you think this is just speculation, or is this like too many times they keep bringing it up and you're like, it's got to happen?
No, it's going to be listed on all these exchanges. I think it could be a really good play right now to buy as many runes as you can because I think a lot of them once Dog gets listed, it's kind of what happened with Sats and a lot of the other tokens where when Ordi got listed, Sats flew up because they got speculation that hey, that might be the next one to get listed. And I think that Dog Go to the Moon will get listed on HotX. It'll get listed on Bybit. It'll get listed on a lot of these other exchanges. And I think that that's going to open the door to a lot of other runes as well because you're not going to just list one of these runes. I think it is a narrative that we have to be able to trade because guys, once it starts to get listed on these exchanges, you might want to take a little profit because I do think that they're really going to pump, really going to pump. And shout out my boy Patty Poo, $25, man. We appreciate you, Patty Poo. You sir
Yes,
are a
sir.
legend.
Yep. All right, I have the tweet up here. It's actually from Vincent's crypto solution, Cryptolution. And it says just in Binance reports Dog contributing most of Rune's ecosystem market cap. So it says, according to O Daily, recent data from Genie Data, shout out to Genie Data, getting in Binance News, indicates a resurgence in the overall market value of the rune sector, which has risen to $994.78 million. The top 3 runes contributing to this value are Dog Go to the Moon, Pups World Peace, and Arctic Genesis Rune. So again, they were highlighted in this specifically, I think, for a reason, along with Arctic and Pups. But yeah, so more and more spotlight going to the runes sector. Like I said, they have to be the next fungible token standard to really take off. And then BRC20 can do it, once they release their modular ecosystem and all that stuff. But I just feel like they have to be next, in my opinion, or it's a failure.
Well, runes is, BRC20s and stuff, the transfer inscription, you really have to, know, what you're doing, and you risk of making mistakes and stuff like that. With the runes, it's just like Bitcoin, right? It's just an indexer that's picking up these Satoshis, and that's it. It's really it. So I think it's really simple. And I think I think every exchange will be holding runes by the end of this year. Even the ones that kind of did not pick up, BRC20s. I think Coinbase will eventually pick up runes as well, because it's Bitcoin, and they can kind of push that narrative to the ETF guys, the guys who just go over there and they just buy stuff and like, hey, there's coins that are on Bitcoin as well. That's not just Bitcoin. Obviously, a lot of them won't play, but I can see Coinbase listing at least one of them by end of the year, and I think that starts with what we have here with HotX and all that stuff, and goes to Bybit, and then OKX, and then I'm surprised OKX hasn't listed Dog though, and they listed RunesCoin. It's probably because RunesCoin probably gave them a lot of the money they needed to list them. So
yeah, probably. I imagine like the ones that can put up a lot of money, and I feel like Arctic could, if it's who we think it's behind it. And so, of course, they're going to not turn that down probably at first. And it's one of the first ones. And so it made sense. But I think they do follow suit, follow up with these other big ones. But I actually agree with you too with Coinbase. I think that Coinbase, the first standard, token standard from Bitcoin that they list will be a runes. Because the mainstream kind of thought, right, the cabal on the higher level is trying to push runes in a sense to like projects being built, and stable token, talking about stable tokens, and especially if they end up building stuff on Lightning Network that works with it. I think Coinbase would be like raising its eyebrows, because Coinbase loves Lightning, right? Obviously, they always talk about it when something new happens there.
They just
integrate it. They integrate it, right? And so that would be really big. But I think it's going to have to be one they feel like really comfortable with. It could be a meme, like Dog Go to the Moon, or it could be one that shows a lot of promise for like utility, right? One of the two. We're just going to have to find out and see.
Luminex. Luminex could drop a rune. That'd be pretty cool. But not Luminex. I meant Liquidium.
Or Fluid. Liquidium could be one.
Fluid's already technically. It's going to be a rune.
But I don't know how they're going to end up doing that on the centralized exchanges. They're already on MEXC, right, with their Cardano token. So we'll have to see. But regardless, I think that you're right on that. I think runes is the first standard that Coinbase lists. But we'll see.
You got to remember too. My last thought on this is, when, let's just say Brian Armstrong or somebody from his group, someone higher up in Coinbase, when they go to do their research on these rune stuff, they probably end up in Leonidas's, their spaces. Trevor, Leonidas, when they have thousands of people in there, they'll probably hop in there. And those guys weren't talking about BRC20s at all. They weren't talking about any other token standard. They are constantly talking about runes and all that stuff. And on top of everything, you got to remember who created it. It was Casey Rottemore. Right. So, and that is huge. That is what people can say, you're bullish on Domo and all this stuff. Amazing. But he's not the guy who created Ordinals. That was Casey. And then he created runes. Just gives it that proper feeling to it. And I think that's why runes will be listed on every exchange. I'm not saying every rune, but I'm saying there'll be at least the 1 or 2 runes on every exchange going forward.
Yeah, I think so too. But we got to kind of play it out. As of right now, runes is slowly making a climb back up. But yeah, let's be honest, it kind of fell on its face initially. And a lot
Yeah.
of this market cap, we got to be honest, a lot of this market cap is because of the prunes, right? And the
Yeah.
holder count attributing to that. So, but with that being said, I really have conviction that the rune standard will be the next one to really pop. And there's other ones that will follow suit, I believe,
Yeah.
but we'll see.
You have to remember really quick. I know this was my last thought, but this is my real last thought. We're only 3 weeks in. Runes has only been alive since the halving. The halving was, what, less than a month ago at this point, right? So I don't know. I just think that it's such a young ecosystem, and yeah, it fell on its face, but it had to. And now looking back, and it had to go. It
Well,
had to
that's how much
drop.
hype it had. That's how
That's what
much
I'm
hype it
saying.
had that like it's
It,
only been 3 weeks, but it feels like 3 months.
yeah,
Because the expectations, when you set expectations, and this goes to like personal relationships too, right? This is
yeah,
why, like, unless it's like my family, my business partner, something like that,
yeah, yeah,
like
yeah,
you can set expectations for people like that in your life. But
yeah,
just friends and stuff, if you set like these high expectations all the time, you're gonna get let down because
yeah.
people are gonna try to figure out what's best for them, and you can't blame them for that. And as long as it doesn't really hurt you bad or something, right? And I
100%.
think that's kind of like the case with runes, is these expectations were set so high that when it didn't do the things that people thought, they were like, man, runes was overhyped, it was overrated. No, the expectation was set too high, and
Yeah,
part of that was due. We can take some blame for that. I'll take some blame for that because we're part of the media as well. But at the same
yeah,
time, we kind of fell into that hypeness ourselves,
yeah.
right? So,
And when
but
you're in the space every single day, and it's like, you're covering it, and something gets exciting, you just want to you just want to talk about it, right? So that's what our show's about. Yeah, we do have some news, but it's really just our opinion and how we're feeling in that exact moment. And I think CB Spears said it best. He was like, "You guys can go back and look on your show at any point and really get a feel for how the markets were." And that's what it was like when we're getting excited about track and tap, because we think that's the next, the next big thing to talk about, right? We might not think that it's going to change the world, but it's the most exciting thing in our space. And I think that's what people need to understand, why we're so excited about runes, like why we're going to be so excited about this tap ecosystem once tap token launches. It's not because we think it's going to go to the moon, but it's just finally something exciting to talk about.
yeah, for sure. 267 people in here, guys. We appreciate you joining us on this Monday to kick off your week, hanging out with Ordinal Revolution, Shizzy and Yagobi. We appreciate that. All right, let's hit on this because we're getting close to the Ordinal after hour here, but I want to hit on this.
Yeah.
So this was a bit of news in the space. So someone inscribed 149 cursed inscriptions all on a single uncommon sat. So now, this collection is not only cursed, but they are uncommon cursed collection, right? So
Yeah.
I'm going to share my screen real quick and kind of go into what happened here. And shout out to Femojis right here, Sanj Femojis. It says the most cursed sats to ever exist, or the most cursed sat, because it was all on one single uncommon sat. 149 cursed inscriptions, all on a single uncommon Satoshi. The origins of a Twizzy 999. I had been meaning to post about this for a while, but thought I'd wait to see if anyone found out. And recently, Danny from Uncommon or On-Chain Monkeys found it and brought it up. And it says, not only is it the sat with the most cursed inscriptions on it, but we're pretty sure that it's the first batch reinscription. All 150 inscriptions were done in one transaction, costing only $25. So, one, really cool, because like all these cursed inscriptions are now like uncommon, right? Because they're a part of that uncommon Satoshi. And then two, it's the like first large batch inscription, 150 in one transaction costing $25. So I think this is really cool in terms of innovation for collections, and also pretty cool to combine like cursed and uncommon. How are you feeling about it?
Yeah. And this had to happen before Jubilee, right?
Well, no. So because they were already cursed and it was a
Okay.
reinscription.
Oh, okay. I got you. Yeah, this is
Yeah.
pretty cool. Yeah, it's it's crazy that no one has found it up until now, though, right? or I mean, he said he found it a while back and no one was it, but 149 cursed inscriptions. That's insane. That's pretty wild.
Yeah. And probably people are going to start, trying to follow suit here, and it's cool because like when you have like project founders and really creative devs, right? Like Mr.
Yeah.
BRC, shout out to him. He's a really
Yeah.
creative dev. Start to integrate these things into their projects and stuff. You got to appreciate it, right? Because the creativity is a part of our space that you got to appreciate, because there's a very, even though the artists get overlooked, there's a very like
Yeah.
artistic approach to ordinals. You know what I mean? Like the
Mhm.
creativity, the grassroots feel, stuff like
Mhm.
that. So really, really cool.
100%.
And wanted to kind of bring that to the attention because I do feel like it's cool to see that kind of innovation and stuff. We got 5 minutes. Do you want to hit on some markets real quick?
Oh, we can save them for tomorrow. It's so funny. Beginning of the show, we're like, we have nothing to talk about, and then 55 minutes in, we still have a whole bunch of stuff.
We can talk. We can talk. No,
Well,
I'm just kidding.
No, I'm just saying we can, there's a lot of stuff we can talk about, but yeah. So, and then, I guess we just hit on these, and then we'll kind of get to some questions.
Yeah, let's do it.
Well, real quick, the first Bitcoin payment sent from NYC to Dublin. So NYC has this portal. It was open for a little while, but the guys at PubKey, shout out the guys from PubKey, they went and they sent a transaction through the portal. Somebody had a QR code on the other side. They scanned the QR code and they sent it from New York City to Dublin, Ireland, in the matter of seconds it was showing up, and then they had to obviously have to wait the full Bitcoin block to get it. But I thought that was awesome. What do you think about this? They're using the portal to send Bitcoin.
That's pretty cool. Why did the portal
Yeah.
get shut down? No, I'm just kidding.
I was like, how do you know? I was like,
Yeah, no, that's cool, man.
Models.
Yeah, so I think that like it's another way to kind of get like society educated on Bitcoin,
Yeah.
right? Because the portal was catching a lot of trending, energy. And then shout out to PubKey, guys. If you have not been to PubKey, it's a pub in New York City that is Bitcoin. It's a Bitcoin pub. Let's be real, right? So they're very open and welcoming to ordinals and Bitcoin ecosystem stuff.
Yep.
It's a small spot, like especially in the front, especially when you got these
tiny.
tiny Vikings that aren't tiny, and you got a lot of crazy pups in there, and people are just trying to get drinks left and right. But I think this is really cool. I think that was really cool of them to do that, to bring attention to Bitcoin, and that's what their kind of goal is, right? It's like, come here, talk about Bitcoin, and they went to the portal and they educated people.
It's funny they knew someone in Dublin, though. You know what I mean? You got to know someone there to be able to receive it with the QR code. But I thought that was cool. But yeah, shout out that was pretty cool. Using the portal. Portals are really cool though. Like you can just, I mean, it's just FaceTime in reality, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
pretty much.
It's just
how
cool.
How do you prevent what happened though? Like because like I can't imagine that these will be left open, because anybody could do what that young lady did.
Yeah, I mean, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. I mean, you can do that anywhere. You can walk down the street and just in New York City and just you can do whatever you want. So I mean, it's just something we're gonna have to deal with that as a society. But the fact that they gave so much publicity is bad, because now it's going to it's going to 10 years to happen, because these girls, they just want to get their name out there. So you
100%
pay your $10 or $20 a month or whatever the hell they charge. But
yeah, as much as it was distasteful, it's probably kind of a smart marketing thing for her.
I'm sure she made $1 million off it over time.
Yeah. But is that a constant live stream too? Like to where it says like, oh, Dublin and New York City?
Yeah. It's just constant 24 hours a day. It's just, it's just FaceTime. It's camera on one side.
But is there like a website that shows like each side? That is where I think that the problem would come in, right?
Probably. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there is. I mean, I can't see why they wouldn't do that, but yeah.
Gotcha. All right.
I guess we can save the token updates for tomorrow in case we don't have anything. But we can kind of hit on a couple other things here. Did we hit on this? Crypto asset manager, Grayscale CEO Michael Sunshine resigns. Michael Sunshine is an OG Bitcoiner. Grayscale, you can say whatever you want about Grayscale now, but they were the biggest Bitcoin trust that ever existed and probably ever will exist now that ETFs are around. There's no need for these trusts. But Michael Sonnenschein, he really pushed this industry forward. He really he got, you were able to buy Bitcoin on an exchange before an ETF, not exchange, but on TradFi because of what Michael Sonnenschein did. And you can say what you want about him. I know Peter from What Bitcoin Did crushed him in an interview with him, but at the end of the day, he'll be remembered in history for everything he has done for Bitcoin. And I think we all got to take a step back. I know he played a big role in what happened with what happened in the bear market and stuff like that with Gemini, and he had a company called Genesis that went broke. They were lending and borrowing, but that was the phase back then with BlockFi and Celsius and Genesis. Genesis, was probably the big reason why Michael Sonnenschein is resigning. Because of that whole thing, but he did clean up his mess before he left. So I think that's pretty good because now Grayscale will be remembered as an ETF and potentially one of the first. I mean, they were the same day that BlackRock became an ETF, they became an ETF as well. So I just want to thank Michael Sonnenschein for everything he has done for this ecosystem, and I just think that whatever he does next is gonna be big.
Yeah, I mean, they won their case, right? In the courts and kind of helped push the ETF narrative, right? So, it's kind of weird that they were selling off for a long period of time, but people know that they've been holding on to those assets for a while, right? And so
2013.
yeah, since 2013. So it made sense for them to kind of get their profit, or for the people involved with that. But yeah, I think that Grayscale will be known as kind of an innovator in a sense to push that
100%.
that narrative. So all right, guys, we have made it to the Ordinal After Hour, and you guys have 275 people in here. We appreciate you guys, and let's get to some questions here. Continue to put your questions in the chat, guys. We will get to those. All right, let's see here.
Oh yeah, hold on real quick. Drex goes, the golden badge looks nice next to my name. So if you guys do notice, if you've been a member for 6 months, because we've only had this membership for 6 months, you now have a gold star next to your name. Congratulations, all my 6-monthers. You guys are really why the show is doing so well, because you guys are the early batch community, and we love you guys, man. The gold stars, so it's pretty cool.
Yep. Superfan, remember Superfan? We had we did the we were judges in the Lambda hackathon, and Superfan was the developer for Bitcoin Heroes. So we're gonna dive into this, and we'll talk about this a little bit more in tomorrow's episode. But really cool stuff, guys. So check out Superfan, check out Bitcoin Heroes. We're gonna go over it tomorrow a little bit. So
what else we got here?
All right. Yashir says, let me ask you this is okay. Yeah, for sure. Superfan, put your project details in there. Put your project details in the chat. That's fine. That works. Sorry, I have to go through all the comments here.
No worries. I walk alone. He says I couldn't stay. He had to take his doggo to the vet, and then he did come back and make it back. So thank you, sir, man. I walk alone. Yeah, you gotta do some IRL stuff, but you still make it back, man. We appreciate you. I walk alone, man. Really awesome.
Sixes says, Yago, you drinking a juice box to keep from spilling? No, I'm actually doing a technique for my voice because I need to be able to sing after this. No, I'm just kidding. But I actually am doing like this thing to make sure that my voice is stays strong. It's weird, I know, but gotta do it. All right, Patty Poo, will you consider minting Joker Runes coin and D Pepe Green? Both minting now. 0 pre-mine runes have been minting out the last couple of days. Full disclosure, I have D Pepe Green bag bias. Maybe for the culture, but we'll see. We'll see.
I always go to luminex.com every time I go to look at that. It's luminex.io. Luminex.com is like an artificial intelligent monitoring system. And then
Yeah.
Luminex.io obviously is where we degen on our runes.
T. Tully says, I like inscriptions, but not runes. Am I doing it wrong? I cannot afford runes.
Runes are pretty cheap. Like you can get them for like 4 sats. But yeah.
So you need to do your research on the runes. There's definitely some runes that are cheaper than they were from the first 2 weeks. There's quite a bit. But I assume you're talking about the top runes. Of course, you're not going to be able to really get an affordable price on runes that have like a $200 million market cap or higher, right?
Yeah.
So, some stuff I would look into is holder counts and market cap. You can go to Luminex and see that, right? So an example of that would be like Satoshi Nakamoto, right? So there's $25 million market cap. It's not like ridiculously high. So it's still at a market cap that you can get into. There's like 18,000 holders. So there's a community of support there. So that's just an example. It's not financial advice, right? So that's something that someone that's maybe not wanting to get into these more expensive runes can look into.
Look at Joker here. This is I think Patty Poo. He says 3,625 holders, and it's only 40% minted out. This is actually something to look at here. And to answer your question, like you can go mint these. You don't got to buy them on the marketplace. You can go here and you can mint some runes. $2 per mint, really, $4. So I mean that's all it takes. And this one looks actually interesting. What do you think about Joker Runes coin?
I'm gonna check it out. Oh,
Luminex with the upgrade. Look how good this looks now.
How many holders?
3,625.
Okay.
40% minted.
Is that the one that Patty Poo was talking about?
Yeah, that's the one. Yep.
All right, I'm gonna look into it.
If you guys go through 3 blocks, and then if you just, that's what I always do. 3 blocks, and you can kind of see what's minted. But 1,000 in the last 3 blocks, so pretty crazy.
Yep. Yeah, sure says at I Walk Alone. How's your dog? Yeah, I Walk Alone. Your dog is in our prayers. I have 2 amazing dogs, and they're like family, man. So I hope everything is going well with your dog. And best wishes on that whole situation. So hope he is doing okay, and hope to see you back in the chat. Oh, it looks like he made it back. Okay, cool, awesome. So Pantaloni says, what do you think about multi-bit? Do you know anything about multi-bit?
Is it an exchange? Why do I think it's an exchange? Yeah, it's an exchange. It's a centralized exchange. I don't know if they've listed anything yet. They got a bridge. Dashboard, bridge, staking, swap, farm. Okay, maybe they're decentralized.
Looks like they can bridge from. Oh wow, there's BRC20s on here.
Yeah, this is interesting. Oh, this is the Mumbai token.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, the Mumbai BRC20.
Interesting.
Yeah,
the Mumbai token. We haven't heard much about them. Definitely need to do a deeper dive on this, because they were pretty hot when I was doing the BRC20 market updates. They were
like crazy big. They were like, market cap was insane.
They were competing with rats for the top new tokens, but a lot of their community wasn't trying to sell their token. So like the people that were, it was like they intentionally kept the floor high. Not saying it was manipulated, but that's. We just didn't see a lot of listings for that.
Oh wow, look at this! You can bridge, sats to Binance Chain.
That's crazy.
You can bridge Ordi. You can bridge Mumbai, but sats and Ordi, OXBT and We. You can bridge them to the. You can probably add liquidity over there.
They're probably doing the same thing as like Merlin, right?
Yeah,
smart contract and stuff.
Yep. But you can go. You can. This is a way you can. What token here? You can do, you can send pups to Solana over here. Meme. This is pretty cool. You can kind of look at they got a lot of exchange. What can you send to base? Can you send any BRC20s to base? Just Mumbai.
That's crazy.
Polygon. What can you send to Polygon? You can send Ordian rats to Polygon.
How is that? We gotta look into that. I mean,
Yeah.
we gotta look into that. I mean,
Pretty cool
it's
though.
interesting though. Yeah, interesting. All right. T totally says, why is the minimum to mint on the Eden like $2,000? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Could you rephrase your question on that?
I think to buy. So if you go to Magic Eden to try to buy something, it's going to cost you $2,000. But there
Okay.
is things like our guys at Fluid. Their exchange is going to be soon, where you're going to be able to just go and you can buy like small amounts for the cheapest price. That's going to be big, dude. Have you thought about that? With
What?
Fluid, like you know how you go on Magic Eden, it's like 11 sats or something like that.
Yeah,
But you need to pay like $14,000 to get it. If you do that same thing on Fluid, you're gonna be able to go there and get like a little bit of that. You don't got to buy the whole thing for that same
Yeah.
price.
But how though? Because it's going to be
What do you mean?
listed on there. So how do they?
They're gonna break the batches up. So like let's just say you go yourself and you put up your $14,000 worth of I don't know, Dog Go to the Moon. They will break it up in the background. So when you go to buy it, you don't got to buy that whole thing.
Who's going to break it up?
The Fluid. I think
They're going to break it up on Magic Eden though.
No. I'm just saying, like, instead of that person going to Magic Eden, they can go to Fluid, and if they actually want to sell it, you know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Like, if you're not
okay.
so
I
you don't got to break it up yourself anymore.
Yeah,
you don't got to do the
fluid will break up the dude. That's awesome if that
Yeah.
that works out that way for sure. But T totally says I bought like 6 or 7 ordinals instead of any runes. I thought I was level 3 and I'm not.
Oh
That's
man,
funny.
you'll get there.
Smash that damn like button. Yeah, sure says.
Do
Man,
it.
yeah, sure. He's a great community member. Appreciate that. I Walk Alone says he's doing well, just had to get stitches taken out. Okay. Well, that's good to hear, I Walk Alone, about your dog there.
Yeah, Yazir says that girl took great advantage of that portal. I mean, she did. I mean, she probably got our follower count to triple over that. So, especially the people in Dublin, they were probably like, because in the US they weren't able to see that because she was turned the other way. But
yeah, sure says I have a question. If we remove other currencies and only trade on BTC, then how can we determine the value of each product or service?
I'm not sure what he means. I have a question.
He's saying like if we got rid of every world currency and we were only using BTC, I guess we would have to like go against gold, but then gold goes against I don't think that's going to happen. I think there's always going to be like countries' currencies, and because of that, right? Maybe like hundreds of years down or something, we will, but like
I mean, Bitcoin would be infinity, right? So everything would be matched up against Bitcoin at that point. So it's like Bitcoin wouldn't have a price anymore, because everything else is priced against Bitcoin. Right. So, but that's funny though. It's like you can go to stores and like everything can be cheaper than it was the day before because the Bitcoin just goes up a little bit. But The Simpsons actually had Bitcoin as infinity. They had like a ticker, and XRP was like $500, but then Bitcoin was infinity.
Like in the far future.
Yeah. Simpsons has been right, man. They've been right.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I don't know, man. Matt Groening or whatever his name is. I feel like he's from the future for real.
Patty Poo, bro. Whoa!
We appreciate you, sir. We appreciate you, sir.
You are the man, my friend. Thank you so much, dude. We appreciate you. Let's look up his tokens again. Just kidding. Sorry.
Bobby Groom says, "Are we bullish on the Royals DMT?" I am as bullish as can be for that ecosystem on it. I think it's gotten a lot of attention, but that ecosystem has a certain group of like individuals that really grasp that ecosystem. So there's definitely like a learning curve on it, right? So you see the block runners putting out like these shorts like every day to kind of update the community on, hey, like this, we had to tweak this or we had to tweak that or whatever. But I think it's great to have like the innovation of this because it's really like a nerd out thing, which I love about crypto. I love to nerd out about certain things. So to me, it's a time thing for me to invest the time to dive in further. I know the basics behind, DMT, UNET, all that stuff. Love it. The mint, how they do it, how they determine whitelist, how they do all that stuff. That's the stuff I need to dive further into. The art is going to be the art with this kind of stuff, guys. It's very like data with straight lines. You're not going to get anything that's like an artist would create, like freestyle, right? And so I think that with that being said, it's pretty cool looking, but that's how I feel on that.
Yeah, 100%. I'm not bullish at all on that stuff. That's just me. I'm just not. I don't know. But yeah.
Block 9 says, wow, great interview with Batoshi, lads. Appreciate that. Let's see. Dop swap makes it easy. You don't have to buy 1 million. Dot swap makes it easy. So
Yeah.
do you want to talk about your experience with dot swap? I mean, it's
I don't want to say it on here because it can get clipped out.
I'm talking about more on your LP experience and how long it took and stuff like that. Because there was
yeah, I provided LP on DotSwap. I did it for about a week, about almost 10 days. I earned a good portion of RSIC tokens because when you sell them, I was getting a portion of that, and I earned some Bitcoin. So yeah, I mean, it was a good experience. And then when I went to withdraw it, it never came. So I had to reach out to the DotSwap team. They were amazing though, and they got back to me right away, and they got me the funds the next day. So I did get all my funds. I put about $3,000 in there, $1,500 in Bitcoin, $1,500 in RSIC. Obviously, RSIC went down. So when I pulled out, it was a little less because, obviously the price of RSIC was lower, but I did get more RSIC than I put in, and I got less Bitcoin than I put in because what happens is in LP pools is whatever goes down, it kind of trades into the other one, right? So good experience with them. DotSwap team is awesome. I did have some other issues, but I don't really want to get into that right now with that. But yeah, I mean, you can definitely use that. Just be safe. I just recommend don't use your big wallet. Use a burner wallet when you're doing any type of trading on any type of old stuff, especially new stuff. I would highly recommend on everything that you're going to be doing high frequency trading, like you're going to be trading very frequently, to use burner wallets. Don't have more than you're willing to lose in those wallets for sure.
Yeah, for sure. All right. John Doe says track, tap, ghosty, or king. You will find out soon. We'll see.
We know.
I mean, those three seem to be like the triple crown in that ecosystem. Obviously, tap hasn't been released yet, but the speculation and expectations are that it will be a big market cap. So we will see. TK401 says, Yagobi, you touched on BRC20 update happening possibly in June. Could you please give us an update on that? So there's no specific dates. We had a couple friends, people that were at Bitcoin Asia and, people that talked to Domo and stuff like that. And all the theory and stuff is there in terms of how the modular system is going to work. They just need to have it go to mainnet. And, they said late May, June would be that time frame. I think also a lot of projects and people in the space have experience from last cycle and the cycle before. So they also realize that releasing a good, solid product that solves the pain point could be beneficial for them once the bull market is here, right? So when they feel like, okay, we want to maximize our profitability, they're going to try to time that, guys. So we got to understand that too. It sucks for us, like the user, because it should be about us and what makes our experience better. But just in reality, especially if there's funding behind it and stuff, they want to maximize, their investment. And so we might have to wait a little bit longer, but I will update the space, especially in our member stream, as soon as we get information on that.
100%. Looks like we're getting close here.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think that finishes up the questions for the day, guys. And we appreciate you guys hanging out with us for this long, an hour and about 20 minutes with right under 300 people live in our space right now. And we do this every day. We come to work every day. We put our work boots on, if you will. Not really, but we come to work and you guys show up. And without you guys, that can be possible. So we just want to thank you guys for hanging out with us, putting these questions in the chat, and supporting us. So
Yeah, definitely appreciate every single one of you guys, man. You guys are the reason why we come here. The comments are just always amazing. Every single day, you guys are really pushing us through. We always got new people in here too. John Doe and Faisal, welcome to the show. We hope you guys join us again tomorrow. Appreciate you guys. But I Walk Alone says, any info on the Traverse airdrop? So if you guys don't know, if you do own a Ordinal Revolution OG pass, if you were one of the first 150 members, and or a community member who's doing big things around the space, then you can lock up your ordinal pass in the Traverse vault, and that'll give you this Traverse airdrop, right?
Yes, correct. And June 10th is the cutoff date for the snapshot, guys.
That's what it was.
So you need to put your OG pass in the vault before June 10th. And you will qualify for that Traverse tap token airdrop. And by the way, guys, do not purchase the Traverse BRC20 token. It is no longer in, active as their token. So they created the process to be able to, bridge those over or whatever. But the tap token is the one, and you can get that on Ordinal's wallet or SatsX.
Yep.
So just wanted to put that out there. I think that's it. A new article coming out on the website, ordinalrevolution.com. We did put up some new merchandise on there. There's a Pups World Peace t-shirt. There is the Goosenals t-shirt for the profile view.
You want to show it real quick?
Yeah, that's actually pretty dope looking.
You go to ordinalrevolution.com. That's the website. It's been here this whole time. So we're saying I'm cutting you off, my bad.
No, it's just going to say the article is going to be about it's about the runes possible runes listing on Binance. So just look out for that.
Look at the panda. Yo, the panda looks good, bro, on a shirt. That is fire.
Panda.
Shout out to the pandas, the Alus, man. Go out, get your. Oh, dude, this is dope too. The puppet shirt. Oh man, that's cool. And then yeah. Oh, these are cool. These are really cool. So shout out Chico Mo gave us this. Well, I think it was Hype who we got it from, but these are some dope shirts.
I actually pieced those one by one. Actually,
did you?
Yeah, I used Photoshop to piece them one by one because there's not an image out there for that. So
yeah, that's still dope. That's still cool.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
All right.
You go to view all products. We have a lot here, guys. So check us out over there. And also, if you guys are going to Bitcoin Nashville, a lot of you guys are sleeping on getting your tickets. Yep. There you go.
And then you'll see there you go.
But up here, 21% off. Get your Bitcoin tickets. If you do guys purchase them, it helps the show. So definitely check that out. And if me and Yago will definitely be there. So definitely, we already got our places booked. It's going to be a good time. We cannot wait for it. We're going to be talking to a lot of people out there. So definitely come out. Join us. We'd love to meet you guys, man.
I think that's going to be the biggest. Obviously, it is the biggest marketed Bitcoin conference of the year, but it's going to be especially big because you're going to have a lot of people from the East come to the West, and then all the people in the West going to be in Nashville. So I think Nashville is going to be a huge event. So try and make that if you can. You can get that 21% off if you pay in Bitcoin. But yeah, so
yeah. And Crypto Mona put his Bitcoin address in here, so that's pretty cool. Thanks. And Carlos CLS joins. He says, "Panda, Elu." Yeah, shout out to the pandas. Shout out to Elus. We're huge fans of them. So, when Elu in the space, it's up to those guys, man. If he's gonna come in here with his panda, that's pretty cool.
Well, I was like, "Can you guys help us set up like an episode to where we can be our pandas?" And they said yes. So maybe we gotta get with them. Yeah. So.
Yeah, man. Satoshi, right. Cheers, buddy. Cheers to you, my friend. And that's the show, guys. We'll catch you guys tomorrow, same place, 11 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, 7 a.m. Eastern. If I knew the times for Europe, I would say those
7 a.m. Pacific.
7 a.m. Pacific. Yeah. 10 a.m. Central, and then 11 a.m. Eastern time. So check us out tomorrow, guys. Should we hit the music? See you guys.
Let's go. Peace.
We OG, oh no, G. Woo! not bullish enough, yeah. Oh no, you not bullish enough. You ain't got the oh no. I get stoned by the bolo. Bitcoin set to Olo, yeah. Experts on reload, yeah. You're not bullish enough, yeah. Oh no, you not bullish enough. You ain't got the oh no. I get stoned by the bolo. Bitcoin set to Olo. Experts on reload. Mempool getting hot. Everybody wanna rock, ayy. Rooms is coming, everybody on a knot, ayy. It's a nuisance, Ordinal Revolution, ayy. Ordinal Revolution. Yo, it's my guy for real, bro. Got friends right now. Yo, BRC 420, bro.
Yeah.
Yo, that shit on fire, bro. Imagine if he in here. Yeah, lock it in the seal. Murder. I got balls of steel. Nookies on the field. Yeah, this shit for real. With no calls, I get so far. Got 100 phone calls that I go hard, and they gon' love me. Smoke weed, huddle back. I get shiesty. Where my Bitcoin looking lovely. All this Satoshi's nothing above me.